So what do you guys think of monoculars? I actually really like them, especially if they have a reticle. I've showed off this Vortex Solo RT 8X before. I appreciate that it has a reticle focus that makes it nice and clear for my eye, as well as a parallax feature that makes the image clear again for my eye. Good quality belt clip. I use it pretty often. That's almost exclusively the way I carry it. It has a lanyard hole on it if you wanted to carry it around the neck. I think a lot of hunters would maybe actually appreciate that part the most. Has a good cover for the eye to keep the sun out, which you kind of need on a monocular with the type of eye relief you're going to get on a fixed prism sight or something of that nature. Good ergonomics. I like the build quality of it. It's held up pretty well. The only one feature was the eyepiece came a little loose on the sun cover, but no big deal. The Bushnell you haven't seen as much on the channel, but I actually prefer this one. It is my preferred monocular for its versatility. The pocket clip is very high quality, but the screws holding it in are just a little small seeming to me. It could still be great, but the retention is really good. It seems to be tighter than the Vortex actually. I'll tell you that the parallax adjust on this knob on the top is much more natural. It's one hand operational versus the Vortex, which kind of requires two because it's tight. Very, very smooth, gets the image tight. The reticle focus here, it doesn't actually go in quite as far as I would like it to because I have astigmatism with my eye, but I'm going to say 99% of people out there, you're going to be just fine with it. And it's very smooth, has some pre-built-in stages in there. You can feel it as you twist it. Flip cap cover should have been installed. I don't know what they were thinking with this dangling bit there. Just tied to a string. That looks really goofy. I put an Arca converter on a 1/4-inch jack, just like a camera mount, but it does have a NATO or Picatinny piece underneath, as well as a lanyard hole, so you can grab that and hang it around your neck if you like. It's pretty versatile because of those pieces right there. They did have a flip cap cover on the front objective. I don't know why it's not on the back. That makes no sense to me. Pretty convenient. And it's got a little bit larger eyepiece as well as the front objective, and so that's kind of cool. I think it does a little better job as far as letting in light, glass clarity, all that kind of thing. But okay, just take a look at this. So the front objective and then the eyepiece there. What do you do with that flip cap? I mean, that is just goofy, especially if you're hunting. That thing's rattling around and making noise. Look at that. On a windy day, that is going to give you away, and so I think that was a terrible design flaw. I actually just took it off, eventually cut it off, and put on a regular flip cap. Like it should have been installed from the factory. So that's one thing I'm going to criticize. The Vortex, however, it has kind of an eyepiece where you can get your eye up real nice and tight on there, but it doesn't have covers on this particular model. Now this one is a more affordable model. It is cheaper, and so it's maybe not a completely fair comparison. There is a Vortex model just like this RT that does have flip cap covers, so I just want to let everybody know, to be fair there, the Bushnell, it's a little bit more than the Solo RT, and you can get a version of the Vortex that has flip covers, and I think they're really good flip covers. But as it is, the two models that I actually own here, the Vortex doesn't have them. You can see that there is just a little bit bigger objective on that Bushnell. As far as glass quality goes, and this is backwards, by the way, you're looking from the front objective. The Bushnell is just a little bit bigger. Glass quality is a little better in the Bushnell than the Vortex, which doesn't surprise me. It costs a little more. So if you were heading out hunting, climbing up in a deer stand, I think the Vortex is secure enough. The pocket clip is good enough. And 8X magnification for the areas I hunt in. I'm right on the edge here where I'm at trees as well as swamp and then a field. And so these three areas come together, and I looked out over several hundred yards behind me a ways when I was up on the hill, and I could see really, really well. I would be able to easily see deer coming in or turkeys or whatever else. But with the Bushnell, you get 2 more magnification, 2X more. And I'm going to tell you that the fact that it's one-hand operational with that parallax feature especially is really nice. Now, if you listen, you can hear that thing rattling around, though, with that flip cap cover. You're going to have to do something about that if you take this hunting right away. Don't even take it out there one time. It'll give your position away. Both of them, though, with the clip, which is pretty important. You don't want to lose this stuff. I think they're going to do fine. Just pay attention to it. And if you have a bigger gut or your pants kind of right up high, that would be my concern, is that it would just lift out of your pants or out of your pocket. You might want to just consider putting it on your belt or on your side if you're not carrying a pistol. So among the groups of people who will use this, I suppose you have maybe competition shooters doing stuff like I am. Like, I don't want to carry a big spotting scope out, and 10X is easily enough. 8X was plenty enough when I was using the Vortex more. So you have like maybe some competition shooters, especially NRL22, when you're only going out a few hundred yards at the likely most. That's plenty of magnification. It's got a reticle. It's Mills, and in my squad, everybody's a Mills guy. So that's kind of my regular group of shooting buddies. We don't need to worry about MOA. So I'm very confident that this is the right way to go for NRL22 and the way that I shoot. Maybe PRS. I suppose a lot of guys prefer binos, just get more detail and read, the landscape a little better. But I actually kind of like having a reticle in there, and binos with a reticle would be incredibly expensive. I haven't even looked into that. But the Monocular is very affordable, and the glass clarity is better on the Bushnell. And so I have that 10x. I have a reticle that's functional, although I like the reticle more on the Vortex. So the Vortex has a more versatile reticle, I think, and it's also has a piece in there that is considered ranging. And so I like the reticle better on the Vortex. I like the Bushnell better overall. So after dealing with that goofy cover that they have on the front lens there, you can just hear how noisy that thing is. It clips onto the belt real well, and I think I can retain this one pretty good. I think it would be on a backpack or a bag, my belt just fine. The Vortex has a little bit wider clip, and I think it's pretty good. I kind of prefer the feel of the Vortex one overall. The build quality is real good on the Vortex, guys. I don't think it's a poor quality item, and it should be for the price. Another thing the Vortex has going for it is the form factor. It is a little smaller, and so if that's a big deal to you or you're trying to stay pretty lightweight, I suppose the Vortex would have an advantage there. Pocket carry, any of that kind of stuff, it's not going to load you down quite as much. But at the end of the day, for me, my opinion, guys, the Vortex is losing its place. I am actually preferring of the Bushnell. Yet I use them both. The Vortex stays with me in my EDC bag. It stays in my car. And the Bushnell comes with me on trips, competitions, and maybe bird watching or something like that around the house. I do use it pretty often. Just looking at my kids to make sure they're still at the location we have near our house, so I can actually see them from the window, making sure they're playing with their friends right there. It's actually pretty convenient to have that on a tripod, and so I like the fact that I can put this on an Arca rail. That's probably the biggest selling factor to me, along with the fact that it has a reticle. It's not terribly expensive. It does go on sale from time to time, and I can use it in lots of ways. I can carry it in lots of ways. So versatility wins the day with this product. Good quality on both of them. I could easily recommend either of them pretty well, as long as you're willing to make a couple small modifications, especially on the Bushnell. Get rid of that cap, cut it right off, and put on a proper flip cap. On the Vortex, you might want to find some way to protect the lenses, maybe just the cover it comes with, the pouch, maybe you carry it that way, or keep it in a pocket, keep it safe, something along those lines, or just beat them up like I do. And at the end of the day, you can afford to at these prices. I'm going to let you know that the Bushnell has a variant that is black. It does not have a reticle. Don't buy that one if you need a reticle or you're using it for ranging. If you really are into ranging, you might prefer the Vortex reticle. The Bushnell reticle, like I said, it is in Mills, and I've been able to use that and spot for people out to and past 1,000 yards. So I lean towards the Bushnell myself. Let me know down in the comment section what really tickles you. Which one do you prefer, the Vortex or the Bushnell, and why?